Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. As always, want to start off the video by saying thank you to all the subscribers, all the viewers out there. Immensely appreciate your support on the channel. If you guys do like the content, if you guys do like the video series, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you are a subscriber, make sure to hit that bell button to get alerts and updates on all new content posted on the channel. Today, kind of want to switch gears up a bit and talk about Litecoin mining. Been talking quite a bit about Bitcoin mining, talking about some of the dedicated hardware that can be used in your home to mine Bitcoin, most notably the S9 Antminer. And today I wanted to switch things up and talk about script coins, in particular Litecoin. Litecoin was in the past considered the silver of Bitcoin. I think Ethereum has kind of taken that role now. Litecoin is now somewhat of the bronze, sort of the third largest market cap coin out there with regards to cryptocurrency. And as you can see here from this chart, the price of Litecoin has been absolutely skyrocketing, just like it has with Bitcoin. You can see here the prices over the past month or so kind of holding out fairly stable there. And then today, actually yesterday, spiked up 20 to 30%. I think it's up currently about 35% or so, right around $130 or so. Bitcoin kind of came back somewhat the other day, but it's still being at all-time record highs. Very, very remarkable, the price of cryptocurrency of late. It's a little bit unclear if this is representing the true value of these coins or this may be a little bit of a bubble type of situation. But nevertheless, mining these coins has been very profitable for some time, but it's now very, very profitable over the last month or so. And really every month, kind of like the stock market, it has been hitting all-time highs, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and also Litecoin. And there are a number of other different coins as well. So really, with Litecoin, script coin mining, these all can be used on the same type of machinery. And today I'll be talking about the L3 Plus Antminer, one of the best dedicated pieces of equipment, just like the S9 Antminer for Bitcoin, for mining script coins, for mining Litecoin at home. So this is for the casual investor, the novice investor, the weekend investor who can use this in their home to mine Litecoin. And really, if you put money into it, it could become your own sort of Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum factory, if you will, with the S9 Antminer for Bitcoin and then the L3 Plus Antminer for script coins like Litecoin. So the price has been skyrocketing, and just a very quick review as well with these coins. As you guys remember, cryptocurrency is a type of computer language, a software. Basically, in the computer science world, cryptography, there's a whole branch of computer science dedicated to this type of technology, but it's very complex algorithms that take lots of processing power to carry out the calculations. And running the network, you basically will mine Litecoin at a certain rate, but it all depends on how many calculations that you can compute or crunch. Basically, on the hardware you have, and every generation of hardware is increasing the number of calculations that can be carried out. So there's a continual arms race with these particular pieces of machinery, and they're all judged by mega hash for the script coin, Litecoin mining hardware, as we'll be talking about here with the L3 Antminer. With the S9 Antminer, it's in the terahash range, so lots of calculations, and again, dedicated pieces of hardware that are used to crunch these numbers. So in doing this, you spend quite a bit of money on electricity, as you can imagine. These are essentially like CPUs under 100% load, running 24 hours a day, 24/7. You're simply crunching these numbers. And you can imagine just with the machinery itself, it's using a lot of power. And we'll talk about that in some of the calculations that are used to quantify if these machines are profitable or not and over what period of time they're profitable. But you can imagine running these 100% load. They get very hot. They're very noisy. The calculations are requiring quite a bit of power, so electricity becomes a very big issue with regards to the cost of these. Here I just have a little bit of a graph kind of showing the different electricity rates around the United States. So depending on where you mine, it's going to change the profitability of these machines. If you are mining, for example, in the Northeast, maybe in Southern California, parts of Texas, so on and so forth, where the electricity costs are quite high, you're going to have a very different type of calculation with regard to the payback period and whether this is going to be profitable over the longer term. If, on the other hand, you live in an area that does not have that high of electricity costs, these can be very, very profitable. And actually a lot of the mining happens in those areas. And not only that, the heat that is produced by these machines is quite large as well. So cooler climates also seem to gravitate the big mining operations as well. Again, that's kind of dedicated business operations. What I'll be talking about is running a couple of these machines at home. Again, sort of the weekend investor, the investor who has a little bit of a hobby time set aside for mining some coins, making some money, kind of like casual stock market investing. You don't necessarily need to take these into that big of consideration, but if you want to make money and want to be profitable and you're doing this at scale, you definitely have to be in an area where the electricity cost is very reasonable, as well as the cooling cost, which will also take into consideration air conditioning and so forth, a lot of electricity costs and other incidental costs to run those machines, the cooling for the machines, that is. So having talked about all of that, let's kind of jump into some of the calculations here. Again, there's a whole set of calculators that are online that you can use. Basically, you can plug in how many calculations the machines can do per second. For this particular machine, it's in megahash. You can see here the hash rate, that's what that's talking about, as well as the power. This particular piece of equipment, again, the L3 Antminer, is using 800 watts. That's essentially going to be run 24/7 around the clock. And on top of that is going to be electricity costs for cooling if required, which typically cooling is required on these machines. They do have a fan on them, but a lot of times you have to use extra cooling, air conditioning, or other fans to really cool down the room in which these particular machines are located. And because of that, a lot of these people put these in custom-built cases that can be air-conditioned and or in the basement or some other area that is cool. And then the big key determining the price of the payback period, that is, how many days do you need to run these pieces of machinery before they pay for themselves, is the price of the coin. Currently, Litecoin, when doing this video, was $130.70. Again, that's come up remarkably just over the past day. I think it's up 20% since a couple days ago. Over the past month, it's up something crazy like 300%. And over the last year, it's in the thousands up percent-wise. So that's going to have a drastic change in the profitability of these machines. Again, the hardware costs as well. These machines are not cheap. You can get these bare bones for about $1,200 or so. But right now, with the profitability being where it's at and the popularity being where it's at, it's going to cost quite a bit. $1,650 is kind of a good price for these machines. You may have to pay much more than that. And as I've talked about in my Bitcoin videos, there's a lot of folks who buy these machines and are essentially trying to scalp some of the prices. They'll buy large batches of the machines and then sell off at a very much inflated price, sometimes even 2 to 3 times what they bought them for. So you got to be careful on that, especially when buying off eBay. Then there, the power cost, again, I kind of averaged this. Again, depending on where you live in the United States, it's going to be different, maybe 20 cents in some areas, maybe 9 or 8 cents in other areas. I kind of took 10 cents as a very good electricity cost, but this is going to vary depending on where you live. Another good way of kind of putting some valuation on these other coins is kind of referencing back to the reference coin Bitcoin, just kind of showing the ratio there, Litecoin to Bitcoin. Litecoin has a price. There's a number of different markets that you can essentially trade Litecoin for US fiat currency, but there's a lot of other trading sites that you can only trade coin for coin, just because of all the regulations involved in setting up a service that can exchange coins for fiat currency. Then on the right there, you can see return per day, cost per day, and profit ratio. Return per day is simply calculations, how many coins can you make per interval, times the price of the coin will give you that return per day. And then cost per day is essentially the power costs that are required to run the machine only. This is not considering the cooling costs or other incidental costs that may be employed with cooling these machines down. The profit ratio there, you can see very, very good, 396%. So moving on, we can kind of see a little bit about the return per week as well. 63.23 return per month, 271.43, and then return per year, 3287.33. So again, cost per day, return per day, and putting all those numbers into consideration, as well as the initial hardware cost, the price of the machine. It's going to take 176 days of running this machine 24/7 to recoup those costs. After that, it's all profit. So you can see right now, that's a fairly good payback period. Some of these machines have payback periods in the thousands of days, if not infinity. You'll never make your money back on this machine because of the price of the coin. You can definitely make your money back mining with this machine. 176 days currently. And really what you hope is that number stays about the same or decreases over time or increases slower than the elapsed days. So at some point you'll get back all of your upfront initial costs, investment costs, and then you'll be making money. Or that's the theory anyway. There's, again, a lot of machines that you'll never make your money back because that payback period is simply in the thousands of days, which keeps going up and or infinity. And currently, I'll kind of start a series here. This will be week 1, the payback period, 176 days. We'll kind of follow this to kind of see where this payback period goes. Again, this is going to be contingent on a number of different changing variables, hardware costs, electricity costs, but the main key determinant will be the price of the coin. That's going to be changing most rapidly and most dramatically. And as you can see, Litecoin from the graph before, immensely increasing over the past few weeks, few months here, and over the past year, the rate of return of investment is in the thousands of percent. So if you were able to get in early, you have quite a bit of investment. If you guys remember from my prior videos, I actually have 68 Litecoin that I had left over from some mining I did a few years ago. Wish I would have kept my machines running continually since that time for a couple of years now. May have maybe 500, 600 Litecoin at the rate I was mining. Again, that's going to slow down depending on how many people are mining and what the overall hash rate is. But anyway, my investment now is around $6,000 or $7,000 if I can do that math in my head real quick here. So not too bad. I think my initial costs were a couple thousand. I did end up selling all my GPUs at a loss for probably about $400 or $500 loss. So I'm still up quite a bit, but that's only because the price of the coin has skyrocketed over the last few months here and the last year in particular. So again, this is the L3 plus Antminer here. Very profitable right now. I'll be following along with the payback period, kind of see if this is going to be profitable longer term or not. I'm actually trying to buy one of these as well as an S9 Antminer, but again, the popularity of mining right now is going through the roof. These are very hard to come by, and to get your hands on some of this hardware, you have to spend quite a bit more than what the initial manufacturer's cost was, and I'm not quite sure if I want to do that because I'm not quite sure if these prices are real. I think there's a bubble developing. I thought that when Bitcoin was 10,000, but Bitcoin has absolutely shot past 10,000, so not quite sure where the price is going to end up, but just kind of a novelty hobby type of situation. I'm going to try to buy a couple of these machines, one for the Litecoin script coins as well as one for the SHA or the Bitcoin protocol. Kind of mine with those and see if I can make a rate of return on those. So I'll keep you guys posted. Just wanted to do a quick video here letting you guys know how to mine Litecoin with the L3 Plus Antminer, and I'll be going over a number of other pieces of equipment as well. So don't want to make the video too long, just wanted to do this quick initial video, and again, I'll be following along each week to see if this is going to be a stable, profitable investment or not. So yeah, again, want to thank all of you guys for your support on the channel, all the subscribers, all the viewers out there, immensely appreciate it. As always, if you guys have any questions about this video or other videos, please let me know in the comment threads down below. I'll do my best to get back to you as quickly as possible. Sometimes it takes a few days, but I always try to respond to every single comment within a week's period. So please let me know if you guys have any questions, and kind of with that, I'll end the video, and we'll see you guys next time.